When customers first get your products through the post, the first thing they're going to see is the packaging, obviously, but the point I'm trying to make is you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So it is really, really important. And in this video, I'm going into how you can make your Amazon handmade packaging really, really special. But also, I'm going to go into the rules around the packaging because, as with everything to do with Amazon, there are some quite strict rules. So stick around until the end of the video as I have a cheat sheet with all of the packaging rules, so you don't need to take notes during this video. So let's jump in. Hello everyone, my name is Teddy and I'm from London, as you can probably tell. And in these videos, I talk about how you can build a handmade business without relying on Etsy, and some of the techniques I use to grow my business into a full-time business so I can quit my job and have more fun working for myself. Now, if you think like that sounds like something that would help you out, then click subscribe in this video as I post videos about handmade business, Amazon Handmade, Etsy, stuff like that every single week. But packaging. Why is packaging so important? Well, it's the first thing that your customers see, and you really, really want to make a good first impression on people when they get their stuff through the post. And the first thing you need to think of is what sort of products do you have and what sort of packaging do you need? You know, you can have the nicest packaging in the world, but if it turns up all scuffed and damaged or broken, then that's probably going to be a massive issue. So probably the most important thing about your packaging is not how it looks, but how it protects your product. But you can have nice packaging that is also protective. And good packaging is what can turn your product from being seriously boring into standing out on the page and making you loads of more sales. And if you have packaging that is nice and pretty, it means it could really be giftable, which means that you can charge a lot more for the product. You know, people spend a lot more money on gifts than they would on themselves. It also means it will stand out loads on the page, especially if you're in a bit more of a competitive niche. And we can have a look at a few examples here.
Okay, so this is a good example. This is a soap set. So the reason I picked this is because there's lots of different types of soap. You know, there's things like Dove, like this one up here, like quite boring, like even this big sort of hand wash soap. But what I'm trying to show is that if you've got nice packaging, then it can make you stand out from the boring ones. So if we have a look at something like this barley soap, like the packaging's okay, but it is basically just a wrap around the product. Then if we look at something like this Mistral one, for example, like to me, that really stands out on the page because, you know, it's got quite luxury packaging. You can see that that would be giftable. And as a result, you can see that they're charging quite a lot for it. Like, I don't really know Mistral soap, maybe they're a very expensive brand, I don't know. But you can see by using some nice packaging, they can stand out. Another example is this floral soap here. And I think there is one just down here as well. Yeah, so this floral soap here, you can see, look, in this nice packaging, that is quite a nice gift you could give to someone. Like, it's a bit cheesy, but you can see how that would be a nice gift rather than just having like some flowers shaped soap just loose. If you put it in a nice box like something like this, that could be a way of making you stand out on the page, and it should make it giftable, and in theory you can charge a bit more for it.
The point I'm trying to make is you can make your packaging speak about your brand. Like, if you have a particular look you want to go for, then the packaging is a really great place to start. Like, are you going for a luxury feel like something like this? Or are you going for a kind of fun vibe like something like this? Or are you going for something very serious and very important, just like this? Well, the packaging is what will speak to the customer, telling them a bit more about your product, a bit more about the brand, and essentially a bit more about you, the seller. Like, if you're making a product aimed at really boring lawyers, then it's unlikely that lots of glitter and sparkles is going to make a really great first impression on them. You know, brand is really important because it's how you get people to buy from you again and again. Also, if you're serious about brands, you can then get brand registry and start making pretty listings that convert even faster. But there's more on that in a later video. So when you're thinking about how to design your packaging, think about your target customer and what impression you want them to have of you or your brand when they unbox your product. And if that customer has a really good experience unboxing products, they might even leave a review like, "Oh, packaging for the unicorn onesie was so cute," or something like that. You know, that might also help other customers to find the product. And you know, if you read the reviews before shopping, just think about how you shop yourselves. If you read the reviews, you can bet other people will be doing that too. So getting reviews is really important, and having good packaging can really help you to get more reviews. And talking about reviews, let's go on to one of the other benefits of great packaging, is that you can actually use the packaging itself to get more reviews for your product. And reviews are really, really important. So let's have a look at a few ways. Well, firstly, if you have nice packaging, people are more likely to write a review, as I just said before. But also, you can use the packaging itself to ask for a review. Now, you do need to be a bit careful about this, as Amazon do have rules about asking for reviews, and I've included a link in the description to the latest rules on asking for a review. But in summary, you aren't allowed to ask for a good review, and you aren't really allowed to incentivize a review. For example, you can't say, if you like this product, then please leave a review, or if you didn't like the product, then please get in touch, don't leave a bad review. Like, you can't say something like that, obviously. And you also couldn't say something like, if you leave a review, then you're entitled to 20% off your next order. What you can say is, I really hope that you liked the product, and we're always looking for feedback to improve our products. So we'd really appreciate it if you could log into Amazon and give us some honest feedback about what you thought about the product. And here's a link to leave a review. And you see what I just did there? I asked for a review, I didn't ask for a good review, and I definitely didn't incentivize a review. But by being polite and asking for a review, then you often will get one. And the thing is, you know, your product should be good. That's why you're here in the first place. So you should be getting good reviews anyway. And you can put this messaging onto the product inserts. So I call them product inserts. You'll often hear them called product inserts, and it could really be anything, but usually it's something like a leaflet. And I always put something like this into my packaging, even if I'm going for something really, really basic, because it's a chance for you to make a little bit of a connection with your customer. You know, you can make some really, really cool inserts using a simple tool like Canva. And Canva's free. I can't believe it's free. There's a link to it in the video notes, but it's really awesome. I don't know how it's free. And on the leaflet, you can also put some helpful information for the customer, such as instructions for how to use it or instructions for how to clean it. You could also give some tips and tricks for how to use it well. Like, for example, if you sold a yoga mat or a yoga block, you could include some starter yoga poses so people can get themselves going. Or if you made like a wooden mind game, you could include some of the different games that you can play with your wooden mind game. All of this stuff will help you to get more reviews. And one way that I like to try and use my reviews is to try and start building an email list. Now again, you've got to be a bit careful about this because Amazon do have certain rules about it. But a list is really, really great because it means you can start building up a group of superfans, and it can help you to launch your products next. Because, you know, next time you launch a product, you can simply email your list, and then that is like some pretty hot leads for you to like get in contact with next time. What I often do is put like a QR code, which is one of those like square barcode things. I put one of those onto my insert, and that links to my website where I give the customer some kind of freebie, like an ebook or maybe some instructions or a way to access their warranty or something like that. And this means that customers can click on that and they can get onto my website, and then it will help me gather emails because we can put an email form there for them to opt into. You could even give a discount on your next order, though obviously you just can't give a discount for a review. And you can leave all this stuff on the insert itself. And as I said, please do check out the rules first because they do change all the time, and you know, by the time you've seen this video, they might have changed a little bit. And whilst the rules are boring, it's really, really important to get them right with Amazon so you don't get banned. There are other ways to get a review as well, such as, you know, email follow-ups. There's a little tool in Helium 10 called Follow Up, or there's another one called Feedback Genius, which is separate, and I'll go into that much more in a future video. Now let's go into what should be on the packaging itself. So obviously you don't just want to make the packaging pretty, you also want to make it useful for the customer. And for this, there are some rules. Yes, sorry, there's some more rules. Like, this is the last rules, I promise. But for example, say you have a poly bag, you know, one of those see-through plastic bags in your packaging, then you need to make sure it has a warning on there, warning people that they could choke on it. This is actually the law, and it's also one of Amazon's rules, so just make sure you're always doing that. You should always put on there where it's made as well. So like, for example, say your product is made from a cooperative in Tanzania, then you should put made in Tanzania on the packaging. You should also put on the packaging if it's recyclable so that your customers know how to throw it away. And I always think you should be trying to use recyclable packaging anyway, because, you know, it's so easy to get recyclable packaging now. Like, you can get stuff made of corn or something like that, and you don't really want loads of rubbish floating around all over the place. If you're sending your product into FBA, you need to have the barcode on the actual product packaging itself so that Amazon can scan it when it comes in. Now, this can be printed onto the packaging or directly, or it can just put on with a sticker. Usually, to be honest, I just put it on with a sticker because it is much easier and it means you don't have to print it onto the packaging. But the barcode has to be scannable, so don't just print it out with some crappy old printer. Like, if you are going to put it on the stickers, just get it done at somewhere like Vistaprint or something like that. Also, if you are sending your product into FBA, you need to think about protecting the product, but also not making it too bulky. There's kind of a compromise you need to make between the bulkiness and the protectiveness. As with FBA, the size of the product is really, really important because they have different fees about the different size of the product. And I go into that in way more detail in my pricing episode. Because Amazon don't really care about the value of the item, they just care about how much space it's going to take up on their warehouse. Like just for example, if you send it in a kilogram of polystyrene, that's going to be massive and it's going to take up loads of space on the shelf. Whereas if you make a diamond ring, that's going to be worth loads of money, but it's going to be really, really tiny. So now let's have a look at one of the more fun bits, how you can make your packaging really, really nice. So firstly, I always try to make my packaging have some colour in it to make it stand out on the page. Like I don't think you need to make it like fully rainbow unicorn style unless, you know, that's the vibe you're going for. But a bit of colour does really help because it makes it stand out in the photos and it can help you to differentiate yourself from the competition. I also like to try and keep it a bit minimalist, like make it really easy to read and stand out on the page. That way you can include your branding on there or your name and your logo and you can actually see it in the pictures. If your product is fully handmade and you send it all from your home or from your office or from your factory or from your workshop, then you have a bit of an advantage over FBA sellers in that you can make your packaging whatever you want really, and you could even leave like a handwritten note. Like leaving a handwritten note is such a lovely way to stand out, but also to make a nice connection to your customer. Like if you think about if you receive something through the post, and you had a little handwritten note there saying, "Dear Sarah, thank you for buying my product," then that would be a really nice thing to do. If you are doing all this stuff at home by yourself, what you can do is go to somewhere like Vistaprint or Instant Print, and they can print really high quality leaflets for you. And you know, these companies, they always got deals on, so just keep a look out for those because like they've nearly always got some kind of percentage off deal. I've got a link just above me now and in the show notes as well to a video from someone I found called Classyburd. It's a great name. She's from Scotland, but she makes really, really nice videos about handmade stuff. And she did one video about packaging for Etsy. So if your product is fulfilled by Amazon, then check out her Etsy video because it gives you some inspiration for how to make really, really nice packaging. And there's some lovely tips in there for how to save a bit of money as well. But if you are sending your products into FBA, then there are some rules about how big the boxes can be. So this isn't the box your product comes in. This is they're called the cartons, but if you imagine if you've got one product, then you send 10 in a big box to send to Amazon. Now there's some rules about how big these boxes can be, and it is important that you stick to these rules because otherwise Amazon might reject your order. And I've put in my cheat sheets, as I said at the beginning, there's a link to the packaging rules in the cheat sheets. So download that to get loads more information as it can be quite complicated. So I hope you found that video really, really helpful. In this next video on the screen right now, I go into Amazon SEO and how you can use it to get your product selling. I hope you found the video today helpful and I'll see you in the next video.